And as you know, recruiting is not 100% sure business, but we're going to be much more successful if we are really looking to the values of that candidate before we bring them on to work with the rest of the team. So to the point of recruiting for cultural alignment is, of course, to have some behavioral-based questions that are trying to determine what the values are of that candidate. And if we use real stories from the folklore of our company to inform those behavioral-based questions, then we have one good answer, because we know what one of our great culture employees did. And then it's really great if we have 2 or 3 people each give a ranking to how we think this candidate aligns with our values. We are going to be much more successful if we have, and as you know, recruiting is not 100% sure business, but we're going to be much more successful if we are really looking to the values of that candidate before we bring them on to work with the rest of the team.
See, and the great part about that, Will, is it's twofold, because by asking those questions that reference, specific examples, specific stories, you are selling your company culture to that candidate, which is equally important. You're selling this story of how your team behaves, and this is what we strive for. It's the behavior we strive for. That's selling. That's building your cultural brand to these candidates that often are very, very in demand and roles that are extremely competitive.
Yeah, and so to that point too, I believe if we're competing, and I've seen this play out recently, where a candidate is being pursued by more than one potential employer, and I believe one way that we can have a different conversation that's not just about salary and competing on price, if you like, is to, of course, talk about vision and purpose. And that would take us back to that core data and that core target that I talked about on that earlier poster, where we're talking about the goodness that we're doing for the world. And that can absolutely change the conversation and touch the heart of that individual. And if they're willing to join you, even at a lower price point, because they like your values and they feel your culture, and they see that there's a purpose to that business that's doing good things for the world, then I believe that's a great conversation to have and a great way to recruit and compete for that great candidate.
100%. I mean, I've seen that many, many times. People taking less money because they felt better about an organization, and it aligned with their purpose and what they feel good doing.